Hey everybody, welcome. Uh, Hope everybody's had a good weekend. Everybody that didn't watch the video that I did earlier today knows my daughter just went off to college again. I have my concerns, obviously, but she is an adult, so I'm going to let her make her own decisions. And so she was very excited to go, which I get it. I mean, I can remember being an 18, 19-year-old kid and at 19, I was in the service. So it was like, get me out of here. So, but, like I said, with everything that's going on, I definitely have my concerns. We'll just see how things go. I have a feeling, like I said, I think I mentioned in my video earlier, that, maybe a month or two down the road, things may get bad again, and they'll send all the kids back home. It won't surprise me if that happens, I'll be honest with you. So we're going to be talking about, it's all about the money, okay? And so we're going to get into that in a minute. I do want to remind everybody, if we have any issues with the stream, that I will get right back on, all right? So just hang in there with me, and we'll go from there. And so we'll just go from that. And again, you may not get a notification that I'm back on, so you may just have to come back to the channel and look. But if we get interrupted, I will get right back on. All right. So that being said, let's move on. I just want to remind everybody again that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. So I would ask that you respect that. Please, no nastiness in the comments, no racism, no hateful stuff against each other, or of course against me. But but if you decide to be an idiot, those awesome people that you see lit up in blue will boot you out of here. That's just how it's going to go. So I would just ask you all to be respectful. Okay. So let's go. Let's get rocking. So it's all about the money. So the first thing that I'm thinking about, which directly ties in with my daughter going back to college, the colleges. A lot of colleges are having the kids come back. Okay. Now I know that RIT has taken extraordinary steps to make sure that the kids are safe and and that type of stuff, which is good. But that doesn't give me peace of mind. But a lot of their classes are going to be online classes. Their class sizes are definitely downsized. But realistically, why do they want the kids back? Well, if the kids are back in the dorms and in the other apartments that RIT owns, they're making money, right? So it comes down to the money. I mean, they could have decided to take a year and said, all right, this year everybody learns from home, but they're not making as much money if they do that. So the bottom line always with everything is always about the money, always. And that's what they care about more than anything else. Again, they've taken the steps. They've done, the right things, but we'll see how that goes. Like I said, I'm hopeful, but I'm also realistic. And so, we'll see what happens. But what do you think about the gun and ammo shortages and the money gouging? Jared Gray just said that. Okay, so that's a great question, Jared. We can get into that too a little bit too. There's a lot of price gouging going on. Supply and demand is what it comes down to. I know a lot of places are limiting what you can buy because realistically, people are buying things like absolute crazy. And I'm more speaking of ammo. Like right now, if you went, there's a couple different places that I had been to recently, and if you were looking to get 223 ammo, is a good one. They're limiting you to 5 boxes, which is 100 rounds. So it's 20 rounds in a box. So they will not let you buy more than 5 rounds because what was happening is people would come in, the first guy that would get in there, and he'd buy 1,000, 2,000 rounds or whatever he was buying. People are scared. Okay. The bottom line is people are scared, they're concerned, so they're looking to protect themselves and their families, which I do not have a problem with at all. I don't. Gun sales are through the absolute roof ever since this whole thing started. First of all with COVID, and then, with this, the protest and the rioting and stuff like that, and people are concerned. So a lot of people are buying that have never bought before, never thought about buying before, and the people that have stuff are just continuing to add on. And I would encourage you to do that. If there's something that you want to try to get, I would suggest you try to get it now. Try to add on as much ammo as you possibly can. I would encourage everybody to do that because, again, number one, it's not just because of what is happening, but just because you never know. And again, let me reiterate this, and I've said this many, many times through the years when I've talked about purchasing ammo and stuff like that. Aren't you kind of wishing that you listened to me 2 years ago when I said buy ammo? Because it's never going to be cheaper than it is today. And that's the same thing holds true today. It's never going to be cheaper than it is today. And if certain parties get elected, they're going to try to restrict our access even more. So again, the biggest thing that I can say is that goes, and I've said this before too, when SHTF happens, and I believe that it will, and I believe it will be on a large scale, it will not just be a town or a county or a state. I think it'll be on a large scale. You're going to have what you have. So that's something that people really need to think about. You're going to have what you have. So you really need to focus on that. What are your priorities? What do I want to do? What do I need? Okay, there's always wants and needs. I want a lot of things. I have a wish list longer than my arm. I'll be honest with you. But I have to be smart, and I have to prioritize. What are the most important things to have? What can I do for a post-event when it happens to make our lives better? And that's what I try to focus on. So that list is still an extensively long list, but if I can methodically work at it and get those things that I need, gasoline, propane, kerosene, making sure I have enough, lanterns, making sure I have enough medical supplies, making sure we have enough warm clothes, especially up here in the north, gloves, wool caps, extra boots. For me, I wear glasses, so extra glasses, right? And that was one of the things, I'll be honest with you, that I did take care of. When I got my new glasses this year, I purchased the first pair. And once I got the first pair, I went back into the store and said, I want a second pair. And the second pair I took and I just put them away. They're the exact same thing as these glasses here. So why would I have the exact same pair backup glasses? My eyesight hasn't changed in probably 20 years. Okay, so my eyesight is still the same. So having that backup pair, if there's something that happens and that pair gets broken, now I have another pair. I also always save my old eyeglasses because, again, you never know. I need glasses for distance. Up close, I'm good to go. But for distance, I need to have help for distance. So if I have, older glasses that I have that if I needed to use them, I absolutely would. It's just being smart and being prepared, and that's what it's all about. So I probably have 2-3 pair of old glasses sitting around. So, it's just like I said, you have to look at what you need, where you're at, like medications. If you're a person that is on different medications, you definitely need to stock up on the different things that you can, as much as you can legally. I guess that's the right word. A lot of meds, they'll give you, the most they'll give you is a 90-day supply. So, that's, at least that's something, in a post-event, you have to think about, there you go. There, JJ just said extra long john underwear. Absolutely. Long johns, extra flannels, any kind of, like I said, wool socks, wool blankets. Getting wool blankets, guys, is a wonderful thing because with a wool blanket, even if that wool blanket gets wet, it'll still keep you warm on the inside of that. So that's just something. Insurance, that's exactly what, insurance will not cover more than 3 months. Randy Romans just said, and that's why they will only do a 3-month thing for a supply for that. But again, and I've said this before as well, there are all alternative ways to get more medicine if you want it. Now, I'm not telling you to do something illegally. I'm just telling you that if you have that concern and you want to have a bigger stockpile more than 3 months, there are ways to do that. A lot of people go down to Mexico and they hit pharmacies in Mexico, and they will buy, a year's worth of meds at one shot. I mean, not again. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying that there are options out there. Okay, so just putting that out there. Our Army surplus store here closed would have been a resource. Oh yeah, absolutely, Randy. That's Army surplus stores are great. I got a lot of stuff many years ago. There was like old World War II, the mess kits with the big spoon and the big fork, and it's all metal, and I got a bunch of those that I picked up. The canteens with the metal cup in it. I got a bunch of those that I picked up, all in the surplus store. Bunch of wool blankets. I picked up all kinds of stuff. So that's those are things you need to be thinking about. But of course, we're getting right off track here, right in the beginning. I see we're already at 1,000 people in the chat, guys. We're at 256 on the thumbs up. I'm going to ask you if you would shoot a thumbs up for me to show support for the channel if you have not already done so. And thank you for doing that ahead of time. Also, again, it really does help with algorithms. So the more that the algorithms see activity, the higher you get pushed up. So I would ask you to do that as well for that reason, and thank you. Also, I like to see a lot of thumbs up, I'm not going to lie. Let's see, we got Nikki Johnson. Heard and had to have police protection for them from the mean motorcycle dudes. Haha, don't mess with a man's Harley. Yeah, I saw, thank you very much for the donation too, Nikki. I saw some guy had kicked out at a Harley. Cops arrested him, but there was only like 8 of them. But they had to be surrounded by police protecting them, which I think is hilarious. They're all anti-police, but they want police protection from the big bad bikers. But again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to do that, please, and also hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So, there's something, somebody sent me some information, and I thought this was a really good thing. Yale has a COVID test that they developed. Paul DeForge, how can I join a group? Being a felon, none will allow it. Really? You know what? I mean, I'm surprised at that, to be honest with you. We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. It would really depend, I think, on the crime, to be honest with you. Being a felon is not an automatic exclusion from being part of a group. It shouldn't be. Again, it would depend on the circumstances. Obviously, there's certain things that absolutely should be rapists, child molesters, that type of thing. But, hey, Southern Boy Prepper, did a video today of our shopping at Sam's. Sam's was fully stocked for a change. Surprised to see. Well, that's good. I'm glad, man. And that's very cool. That's, when we went to Aldi's the other day, they were loaded. Absolutely. Not Aldi's. I mean, Save-A-Lot. We went to Save-A-Lot. It was absolutely loaded. And there was no restrictions on what you could buy. So where like Aldi's is doing the restrictions, they still only let you take like 4 cans of whatever. Save-A-Lot let you took whatever you wanted to. Thank you very much for the donation too. But I want to get back to the other thing as far as being a felon. It really depends on what you did. And if you're honest with a group and you told them, I mean, if it's drugs, realistically, people make mistakes. As long as you cleaned yourself up and you're not involved in that stuff anymore, I don't see a reason why people wouldn't let you in a group, especially depending on how far behind you it is. Like I said, I think people everything needs to be on an individual basis. So I hope you can find somebody to get in a group with, and I'm sorry that you're having a hard time doing that. But anyway, so getting back to the money situation. I'm sorry. Let me get back to the test from Yale. So Yale has come out with a test that they use for the NBA players. The test is a mouth swab test to see if you have COVID. I never could understand why they had to stick that thing all the way back into the back of your nasal cavity. I did not understand that at all. Where if your mouth is spewing all this, why can't you do a saliva test, right? Well, Yale has come up with a test that literally cost $10. $10, okay? Oh, Martha's in the house. Hey, Adam, how you doing tonight? Good to see you here. Welcome. But they've come up with that test that literally costs $10. Now, I'm gonna tell you the story what happened with Heather. Okay, Heather could not get a referral from the doctor because she had to have a COVID test to go back to school. All right, so she could She could not get a test from the doctor or referral from the doctor because she had no signs or symptoms. So you could get tested. There was some different places that you could get tested. So she went on and she did a survey, and she said that she had a couple symptoms. So they said, yeah, come in and get tested. And that's how we were able to get tested. If I had to pay it out of pocket, it would have cost me $300 for that test. And RIT was not letting the kids in unless they had that test. So as far as Marf goes, guys, if you have not gone over to Marfoogle News, if you don't know who he is over on the West Coast. He's out of Seattle area. Definitely go over, support his channel, give him some love. Obviously, tell him that I sent you, Prepper Nurse One sent you. He's got a great channel over there. We have a little bit different things that we do, but he's still a good dude. Him and his wife just had another baby. So congratulations on that. And, I hope everything is going well with you. So Adam's a good guy, real good guy. For example, I would be putting my firearms at risk if I allowed a convicted felon to stay here. Oh, really? Well, I guess. Yeah, it's so weird the way that the laws are. Here's the problem that I have with the way that the different things are done. If you've committed a crime, and this is just me, this is just my 2 cents on it. If you've committed a crime and you've done your time and you've been released and you've gone through your probationary period or whatever you had to do, or if you just got released and you're free, the problem that I have is that now for the rest of their life, they're marked. They have a very difficult time getting ahead with anything. It's like there's so many roadblocks in the way. Haven't they done their service to society? Haven't they paid the cost of what they did? Now they have to be marked forever. And again, depending on what the crime is. Okay, let me just say that as well. Depending on what the crime is. I'm sorry, for me, rapists and pedophiles, and again, it would have to be very clear cut, not, circumstantial type of stuff. I'm talking, they know that this person, because of DNA or whatever the case may be. Look how many rapists they've caught just with DNA evidence now. It's absolutely crazy. But Terrence Parker Jr., Ed Cole stopped working for Adam's show, government controlling everything. And, it's so ridiculous, too. I mean, when I did the last, with the one live stream, so like 3 of my live streams in a row, fine, no problem. Then I did the one on Vax, right? I knew for a fact that we were going to have an issue in that show because I was talking about vaccinations. And it absolutely happened. The show I just did the other day, fine, no issues. And so far, knock on wood, no issues so far today. But it's just, again, we're being played with. It comes down always to 2 things: control and money. They want to control everything that we do. And here's the thing is, so we're going to address something really, really quickly, all right? And I really wanted to address this because I think that it's important. So I'm hearing all this talk. Oh, they with the shot, they're going to put in nanobots and they want to chip you and they want to do this, okay? They don't need to do any of that because you carry your chip around with you wherever you go, okay? This here, that cell phone, that's your tracking device, my friends. That's your tracking device. They know where you are at any point in time. You know how many criminals they have caught by pinging off of cell phone towers where that signal was, where that person was with their phone. People don't think about that thing, but that phone, that's your tracking device. You're already chipped. Your credit cards, on the back of your credit cards, they got all that information, the newfangled ones. There's a chip in there too. You are being tracked. They know they know what you're doing. Trust me. Unless you leave that phone at home, unless you leave your credit cards at home or dealing nothing with cash, and you go out and you do what you got to do with just strictly cash, they know what you're doing. And then, of course, when you go to the store, again, and you use your discount code, let me put my discount card through, bing, again, everything is tracked that you just bought. All right? I'm a big believer. If I need to get something, especially if I'm buying something that I don't want them to know that I'm buying, I pay nothing but cash. If I can get supplies from a second party, like say somebody has, I'm trying to get a good example. Oh, God. Well, survival supplies. Let's just put it like that, because it's a nice broad general category. I'm looking to pick up survival supplies. Charlie's got some survival supplies that he's willing to sell for XYZ amount. I call Charlie and I say, listen, dude, let's meet. We'll talk about this. We meet, we talk, we set a price. I buy it. I take my survival supplies home. All right. I don't want them to know everything that I have. I don't care. It's none of their business, number one. It's just like, okay, it's just like every 10 years they do the census and they push it out there like crazy. They push that census. Oh, it's important. It really helps with schools and it helps with this, it helps with that. Okay, so if that's the case, why do they need to know how many rooms I have in my house? How come they need to know how much my income is, what I do for a living, what race I am? Why do they need to know all that information? If they had on there how many people live in the house, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom, okay, I mail that in, there you go. That's all the information you need. I can tell you honestly, I have never filled out a census, and I never will. And if they come around, I'm going to show them the door, okay? And I've never had them come around. Never had them come around. But no, it's none of their business. I mean, I got one year, this year when it came, it's like, oh, you can go online and you can do it online. Never did, and I'm not going to. But the one year when they were still sending out the paper stuff, I got this thing that was so intrusive. How much do you make a week? What do you pay for this? What do you pay for that? And it's like, how does that have anything to do with anything, you know? So, yeah, I just know. It's none of their business. They don't need to know that, and they're not going to know that. And realistically, they already know that anyway. They already know all that information. So why am I going to give it to them again? I mean, maybe they might not know how many rooms I have in my house. Maybe they do, you know. But what are your thoughts about the Federal Reserve? Healthier health. You know, we are in such tremendous trouble in this country, and I don't think a lot of people really realize it. Hey, Adam, thank you very much, man. Make sure to support the creators you find valuable. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Thank you so much for the donation, man. I really do appreciate that. And again, I love what you're doing. Love your channel. And I try to send people your way as much as I can. But thank you for that. And you're right. You know, it's like giving people shout outs. I love to do that. Like I said, you guys have seen it on here. I've helped several channels because I want to. You know what I mean? I think we need to support each other. I think it's really important, and we should support each other. We should lift each other up instead of certain people trying to drag people down. I don't understand that thinking. I really, truly don't. We absolutely should be supporting each other. Again, when you are looking at really the prepper community, the truther community, and that type of stuff, it's a very small niche. And so when you have this channel fighting with this channel because their feelings got hurt, that is counterproductive. It's absolutely counterproductive. So again, like I've told you before, you will not hear me badmouth anybody. I won't do it because it's counterproductive, and it just won't happen. Hey, Merry Christmas 2.0. Today is the day of salvation. Repent and be baptized in Jesus' name. Acts 2:37-38. This is the only way to heaven. Jesus loves you, Ed. Well, thank you, man, for the statement. I appreciate that. Thank you also for the donation as well. Thank you. But, you know, it's just, there's, you know, we really do need to be supportive of each other. And I think that that's important. And I try to do that. And like I said, and with anybody out there, if you're trying, see, the thing is, and that's the point. If you're trying, if you're putting in that effort, I think that we should try to support each other, you know, so I think it really, truly is important. Let's see. How do you feel about the upcoming vaccine? Will you take it? No, I will not, Sheila. Sheila Blanchard just asked. We've talked about that before. I will not take a vaccination. It's, you know, absolutely not, no way. Not going to happen. I don't trust it. I don't trust what they would put in it. And I don't believe that there's a chip in it. Okay, that's absolutely not. I think that's absolutely lunacy, in my opinion. Giving you my opinion, okay? But they could be putting something in there that could be doing harm to your body.